Welcome to this edition of the Outhouse Lounge. I'm Chris Cordani, your host. As you can tell, we're dressed for the occasion. Summertime is here, and we want to talk hot summer jams. So who do I talk hot summer jams with on the show? Back when I did Revenge of the 80s radio, about a year ago, in fact, we had James Arena and Taco Ockersay doing their song, talking about their song Hot Summer Jams and James' book, Hot Summer Jams. So we have both of them on today. Taco, James, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Great to be here. Thanks, Chris.
With me also, as you know, a frequent guest and panelist on this program, Tony Shaffer, who's the host of The Hard Truth with Tony Shaffer, Thought to Action, all over television. And with us is a co-host with The Hard Truth, Elizabeth Breckenkamp. And Elizabeth has a really cool background in communications, voiceover artist, and soon to be very cool movie star. At least I hope so. So
that's right.
Pretty cool.
She'll be at the Oscars by next year. Just saying.
Working on it.
So we're here to talk about hot summer jams, and we do have a little picture of James's book here. So absolutely fantastic, James. Hot summer. What inspired you to? I understand. Look, let's put it this way. James, you wrote a series of books, a whole load of books about music over the years. Great dance music. But what got you into writing this Hot Summer Jams book?
Hot Summer Jams came out of desperation for something to do during the COVID lockdowns. I couldn't go to the beach. I couldn't go anywhere. I loved the summer. And I really got a feeling for how important the music that relates to the summer was to me. So I said, I'm going to start to collect all these songs that have something to do with summer or travel or holidays in the tropics and put it all in one book and do some critiques, get some interviews. And that's what I did. And what a blast I had doing it. It was absolutely great. And all the songs, some are very famous, some are very obscure, but they all have one thing in common. They all make you feel good. They all make you feel like the sun is out, that you're at the beach, that you're in the tropics, just real feel-good songs from all over the world.
And you wrote a song with Taco. You and Taco got together to write the song Hot Summer Jams.
Well, I had a small part in it, coming up with the title and a couple of the words and the lyrics here and there. But that's mostly Taco and a gentleman in Germany named Tim Helmers. And together, Taco and Tim just came up with a fantastic melody, lyrics, and just a production that I absolutely love. So I'm honored that the name of the book is the name of the song as well. It's a really great song.
You can find it on YouTube. Taco, what brought you into writing that song?
Well, actually, James and I are in very close contact, and he was telling me about the book, and he asked me to do some promotions for it, little jingles. So we'd spend the whole night jamming, going, hot summer jam, hot, hot, hot. And I would go on forever until he would just say, cut, I have enough material now. And then at one point he said, Doc, you're always in the studio with Tim. Could you make some music under it? Just a little drum beat or so some strings or anything. And I said, sure, no problem. So I went back in the studio and, started elaborating on the idea. And then all of a sudden I said to Tim, this is going to be really good. All we had was the hook line and we had the rhythm. And I said, hey, this could be a real cool summer song. Before we knew it, it was finished. And James and I had so much material together already that, it was just putting the puzzle pieces together. And that's what came out of it.
Hot Summer Jams. Okay, here's the thing. When it comes to YouTube, it always gets a little messy. So I have to ask, and I want to do this for our audience, a little sample, but I need to ask express written or verbal permission to play a little bit of your video, Taco.
Well, you always have my permission.
All right. Let's see a little bit of it. I'm going to play a sample of this. It's a very cool song, Hot Summer Jams, Taco.
Yeah.
Let you watch the rest of it.
It starts off very slow. It's a little misleading in a way because it really
Summer jam. You still sound the same. I can't believe it.
Summer jam.
Snazzin'. This is why I wore the leisure suit.
A trip to the sun. I'll see you in Puerto Rico, or with a beach bag of fun. Sailing on summer breeze and splish splash right in the waves. Banana Tropicana, LGBTQIA. Summer jam holiday. Hot summer jam. Hot summer jam.
I have a question. Is there a requirement to have a minimum of 3 pina coladas every time you listen to the song? Is that a requirement? Because I think that would be fun.
It helps imagery. I just love the imagery. Yeah. Check out
it helps when you're making the song, right?
Everything's better with pina coladas to include hot summer jams, right?
Pina coladas.
Check out the rest of the video on Taco's YouTube page. That's easy to find. So it's Taco's YouTube page. Look him up. It's Taco, and there it is. So let's talk about our own hot summer jams. James, you have a load of them in your book. I want to throw this around the room, though. Elizabeth, Tony, James, Taco, what do you envision? What are a couple of your top hot summer jams?
All right. Yeah, I can give you one thing. I would definitely.
James, he wrote the book.
I wanted to share this in your show. This is not a huge hit, but anybody who's a fan of old movies somehow might remember an old Laurel and Hardy movie where Laurel and Hardy go off on a cruise to get away from their wives, essentially. The cruise ship goes down in a hurricane. They've used an excuse to go away. They're claiming to be in Chicago, and the wives are frantic, thinking their husbands are killed. The husbands come back to the house. The wives have left, and they start singing a song thinking that the wives will be welcoming them, called Honolulu Baby. They remade this song as a dance track in 1995. They called it the Laurel and Hardy song / Honolulu Baby. And I put it in the book because it's a great song about being away in Hawaii, and it's kind of a funny song. And I had no idea at the time, the book was published and everything, I had no idea that Taco was the uncredited vocalist of the song. And I only found later, I mentioned the song to him, and he says, "Oh yeah, I did the vocals for that."
Wow!
I had really known that, I certainly would have put that in the book, but at least the song got in there. I thought that was hysterical. That's a small world. Let me.
You ought to put a sticky note in there that says, one of those little post-it notes in there that says Taco was the guest vocalist in this one.
Yeah, put out a second edition or something, and we'll get that fixed up. But I definitely wanted to share that story with you because I still can't believe that.
That was really good. We both freaked out when we found that out.
So when I think of summer jams, I always think of the Beach Boys. That's one of the first groups. The Beach Boys, the Go-Go's, you know.
Yes.
America. Actually, a lot of America's songs I think are perfect for, just cruising down the road. It's like, oh yeah, let's listen to America. They're classic. I love that.
That's a great point, Elizabeth, because a lot of songs have nothing to do with summer, but they become summer anthems because of the vibe, the feel, some kind of energy in the song. So that's a great
something
point.
About the Go-Go's and We Got the Beat is just
vacation.
I would figure Vacation would be in there, So as far as
I like that one too, but yeah.
So I have two songs I want to bring up that they're kind of like way far apart but related. So one is "Cool for the Summer," which I think is a great song.
Oh yeah,
And I don't care who you are. That's a great song. And I think the lyrics are great. It's like really naughty lyrics, which are like hidden in plain sight. So I think it's a cool for the summer. It's a summer jam song. And so the other one is completely opposite. Chris knows this. Lisbon knows this. I grew up in Lisbon, Portugal. I was there in the late 70s. And I used to bartend at 14 for the U.S. Marine Corps Guard at their house. And so as I was serving, I would be dancing to Jungle Love by
Morris Day.
No.
Morris Day.
No. No. Not
I like Morris Day.
That's not Morris Day. It's Steve. What's his name?
Steve Miller Band, right?
Steve Miller Band. Yeah,
Sorry.
Jungle Love. No, I know what you're thinking about. So this is.
Sorry.
I'm not going into Prince right now. By the way, I did go to Glam Jam back in the old days, which was cool. And Prince used to actually, speaking of summer jams, he used to actually show up there and like dance with everybody. So, but cool. I think those two songs are really cool summer songs that are cool. So I don't know if you consider that, James. Jungle Love is a summer song, but it was something we would dance our asses off to during the summer. And
I have 500 songs in the book, but neither of the songs you mentioned are. That is not to say that they are not good summer songs. Really, there are literally hundreds of thousands of songs that could qualify as hot summer jams.
So you could see, James. This is like you have a chance for phase 2, a part 2.
That's right.
Summer jams, part 2.
Absolutely.
The lost songs.
Yes, and you can add that note about
the deep dive.
The deep dive.
The sequel. There we go.
The sequel.
Hey, maybe you can run up against Police Academy with numbers of books. Sequels.
That's right.
There we go.
That's right.
I think I better concentrate on selling the ones I've already written. But yes, that's a great idea.
There are hot summer jams where you can relax on the beach and think about that. There are hot summer jams like the Hot Summer Jam song where you can drink the 3 pina coladas at a time. But there are also those hot summer jams you can drive down the street in at full speed. I love those too. Nothing I like driving down the street at full speed more than, at least in the summer, this great track by Lindsey Buckingham, Holiday Road.
Yeah.
That's a fun song. Although some people have told me it reminds them of a dog being dragged by the by a car, but that's a different story. If you've seen the movie, I guess that's the case. But great video. Song didn't reach the top 40 like I thought it was. I think it was in the 70s somewhere. But my personal favorite solo track from Lindsey Buckingham. Well, there we go. But hey, it's about vacation, so it has to be a summer jam, right?
That's right. Don't put dogs on your bumper and time to your bumper and drive. It's a summer tip. Don't tie dogs to your bumper. Yeah.
Is that what they mean by the dog days of summer?
Right. That's right. And
that's pretty rough.
Let the dogs out.
And don't wrap your aunt and put her on the roof of your station wagon. That's the other thing too, right?
There was Who Let the Dogs Out. There was a time when the Mets were actually in the World Series. It was what was that? 23 years ago. They were. No, that's right. They were in a couple of years ago too. Well, in 2020, they had that song came out. I think it was the Who Let the Dogs Out. So a local radio station in the city wrote a parody called Who Let the Mets Out, which is pretty good. But I don't know. This year we might want to put them back in, but that's a different story for a different day. So what songs do you like driving down full speed down some kind of highway to, or maybe through some neighborhood just to make people listen to during the summer?
Aretha Franklin. Riding down the freeway in her pink Cadillac. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Freeway of Love.
Uh-huh.
And I love All I Want to Do Is Have Some Fun.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
That's the Sheryl Crow track. Mm-hmm. James, I got it. So you're driving down the road, James, and you're thinking, hey, I got to put this one in the book.
Oh, okay. Well, I remember driving down the road of the Robert Moses Causeway on Long Island to go to the beach there. And I was blasting it at the time. Amy Stewart, Knock on Wood. It was an enormous hit at that time of the year. Mm-hmm. Likewise, Donna Summer, Hot Stuff. The more it pounded like that, the louder I turned it up.
Hot Stuff,
and, Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
How about MacArthur's? Do you like MacArthur's Park as a driving song too? Because that's a real.
I don't think of that as much as a driving song.
James, I have a question for you and Taco. Yeah. Who left the cake out in the rain? Exactly. I just want to know, because I've always wanted to know, and you guys are jammers, so you must know.
Who was plastered when they wrote that line?
It's a waste of food anyway. I don't like wasting food.
I know. Horrible.
James, that should be a focus of your next book, The Mystery of Who Left the Cake Out in the Rain.
Right.
The Summer Jams Part 2.
Sequel.
What a title.
The brown nosing, the shameless brown nose moment. One of my other favorite summer jams is when I'm in the rain. It's a night. You ever have those nice warm rainy days out there?
Yes.
Well, I'm thinking of, and I hate to put it this way because I know you're a guest here, but look, I'm always thinking that video you did, the one that was almost like the movie for Singing in the Rain. I just think of your version of it. I know.
Yes, of
Gene
course.
Kelly
We all
fans
do.
are gonna say, I just like
Absolutely.
your version of it.
Wow, what a compliment.
It was brilliant. No, I agree. It was brilliant.
But I mean, to make the video, I mean, it was horrifying because the whole time this was in a set in Munich, the Bavaria Studios, and they had all these rain machines.
Oh,
it must have been a little wet there, huh?
The whole time. So after, down to my underwear. And end of the story was when we finally had the whole thing taped, and I was already flying home. The first thing I got was a phone call saying, "Oh, we're so sorry. We have to do it again." To the tape.
Oh no!
Yeah. Had to do the whole thing over again.
So we taped the second one in a neoprene suit. You know, what you use for scuba diving. The rubber suit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no way was I going to do it, without it anymore.
No, the good thing about Taco's Singing in the Rain, which I included in the book, is the fact that he kicks the song off with talking about being on a tropical vacation. He's flown thousands of miles to get to the Caribbean, and it's raining cats and dogs, which happens to many people on these vacations. And I thought that was a nice way to start the song off, making it very appropriate for the book.
Typical
Wow,
tropical.
cool.
Typical tropical, yeah.
I get on vacation and Mother Nature gives up on me. Yeah, what a lady. Excuse the New York vibe.
We're talking hot summer jams here on Outhouse Lounge. I have Tony Shaffer, Elizabeth Breckenkamp, James Arena, and Taco Akersay with me. And yes, we all know some hot summer jams. What are yours? Do we miss any so far? You want to? What are your thoughts? Put in the comments. Check us out. Maybe we'll do a sequel or two, and maybe you can inspire James to do a sequel or two. James, the book has a whole load of these things. 500, you said?
Over 500, yeah.
Wow.
Cool. Let's see.
There's another 500,000 that I could put in. Yeah. So keep the book going, and then I can do a sequel, which is what I'd like to do.
There are just so many. So here you go. I have a question for you. California Sun. There are several versions of this. Two of my favorites, the Rivieras and the Ramones. There's also the original by Joe Jones. Which one of those is your favorite?
You just mentioned the Ramones, and the first thing that comes to mind for me is Rockaway Beach. That song I thought was incredible. I put that in the book because that's like the punkiest summer song I ever heard. I love it. I'm less familiar with the ones that you're talking about.
California Sun. I always liked them. I always jammed to it. I used to work for an oldies station. My first station was an oldies, so I'd listen to that. I listened to a really early British Invasion stuff and lots of Beach Boys. But one duo that always meant the summer somehow, and they weren't really very good singers, if you will. But Jen and Dean. Jen and Dean always meant the summer. I always been thinking about California, but always meant the summer here too.
Oh yeah.
And even and sidewalk surfing sounded very much just like Catch a Wave. I'm not exactly sure how they got away with that or anybody got away with anything, but that's a different story for a different time.
Well, speaking of Sidewalk then, Chris, so I presume, James, I haven't read your book yet, but I would like to. And one of the groups which I think reflects summer, to Chris's point, is Bananarama, Cruel Summer. Is that in the book?
Oh, yeah. That was in my list.
So
yeah.
To me, I mean, the harmonics in that and just kind of the vibe and all that, I mean, it really does kind of capture summer angst. It's like, it's not like all happy and, you know, it's not like a taco song, Dancing in the Rain in the Bahamas. It's more about, you know, singing about guys dumping them, apparently. So
exactly, that's exactly right. And it's funny how some of these songs that we think of as being so up tempo and so lively and exciting and fun are actually really sad songs. The first one that comes to mind for me, it's very much like Cruel Summer. It's actually even a little more down. Was "Don't Leave Me This Way" by Thelma Houston. Everybody's dancing.
That's a great dance song. Yeah,
like,
great dance song.
High energy party, but it's really a brutally sad love song.
If you listen to the words,
yeah.
It's
funny how that happens with songs. We're thinking, oh, what a great party jam, but it's really not.
I'm going to go back to my
Vamos a la playa. You know,
Vamos a la playa, caliente sol.
It's not about having fun at the beach. It's waiting for the atomic bomb to drop.
That I didn't know. Oh, wow.
That was a huge hit in Italy, that song. It was an Italian production by a group called Rigera. And it was huge. Nobody knows about it in America, but in Europe, that is like the major summer song. And he's right. It was about, why not just go to the beach if the world's going to end? Head for the shore. Yeah. And that's what the song is about.
It's paint a big bullseye in the sand, and you're there. Just enjoy the last moments.
It's interesting. There's three songs which always come to mind when we talk summer and this sort of areas. Like "Melt with You" is a song about being melted by nuclear weapons, and I know people understand it's like, no, it's not about love. Right. It kind of is, but it's like melting. And then this is how my mind works, guys. Then I go to Kate Bush, "Breathing." I love Kate. Who doesn't love Kate Bush? You know. And "Wuthering Heights." I remember dancing to "Wuthering Heights," which I'm sure, James, is not a summer song, but I remember we loved kind of the awkward dancing in discos in Lisbon of "Wuthering Heights" in the late 70s. So
wow. Melt with You. Are you thinking of Modern English?
Modern English, yes. Modern English, yes.
Good song.
Yeah.
That was a good song,
but it's about melting on the beach.
Here's a song that I always found rather upbeat and fun to listen to until you really listen to it. "Timothy" by the Buoys. And it's the one where they're out and I guess something happened when they were all hiking and they got lost and they wound up eating Timothy.
Oh. Wow.
But it's an upbeat song.
What a great story
to listen to.
That sounds like a made for TV movie for the after school specials back in the 70s here in the States. That's a great after school special.
Scared straight. Yeah, Scared Straight.
Scared Straight.
all those great after school specials.
I remember those with the bubble
don't
gum.
Don't do drugs and don't eat your friends.
Don't get in the wrong car.
The danger of hiking and friends eating each other.
And here's another one that seems all nice and party-ish and everything else like that. But basically, I like this Mungo Jerry song in the summertime, but the words are kind of pretty horrible if you think about it.
Yeah.
James, I think you should take this one over.
That one is first of all, in the summertime, has been covered so many times. Had to really narrow it down to Mungo Jerry and then a couple of other people who also did a cover of it. But you're absolutely right. It's a very dark song. It's about cruising out on the streets, getting drunk, looking for women. I mean, it's not a family song or a innocent song by any stretch. But yet when you hear it, it kind of just...
It sounds so perky and upbeat, like, oh, that's nice. Yeah, and if you don't listen to the words, it's like, oh, that's fun. Yeah.
Right. If her daddy's rich, take her out for a meal. If her daddy's poor, do whatever you feel. I have a feeling the Pound Me Too movement really wouldn't like that.
Definitely not a Me Too movement song. No,
very hippie-like.
Yes. Well, originally, isn't it from the late 60s or 70s, early 70s? Originally?
I would believe so, yes.
Yeah, I think so.
It's more fun to take that ride.
There were no boundaries back then.
With those mutton chops, that looks kind of
Yeah, look at the picture. It's like
so. Well, relating to going fast and being on the street, and I don't know if you guys, James, I don't know if this is in your book, but one of my favorite kind of driving and summer songs, which kind of ties us together with the city, is Eddie Money's "Shakin'." And I met Eddie once. He was a cool guy. So is that in the book, or is that not making the cut this time?
No, I'm afraid it isn't.
Because Rosanna sounds like a pretty hot chick, just saying, and her, just saying. I mean, in the old days, so.
Well, again, you're pointing out great songs, and maybe I'll just say this at this point. Look, you could ask a million people; they're going to come up with a million different songs.
Oh yeah,
mean summer to them, because it's all about the experience you had during the summers, during your youth. And what songs were playing on the radio? They weren't just all about going to the beach or, going to an island. They were about all different subjects. And if it hit it in your head and your heart during the summer of '85 or whenever it was, you're going to always associate that song with summer. And it's a great thing. That's what's so great about this music. It immediately takes you back to the sunny days and the good times and the fun you were having. And that's why I thought this music was kind of important to acknowledge. And I wanted to do the book about it because I felt like it was, it's significant music, even though it's kind of dismissed as, not important, not intellectual music. A lot of it is really beautiful and really moving. And I'm glad I got the chance to do this. I mean, James, I hope people read
James,
it.
I think your point is well taken. And it's this thing, there's no heart in today's music. All the stuff today is synthesizer. And, you guys, even if the lyrics are simple, they always meant something. And I think that's part of the point that you make, I think, through your book is like, look, these songs all mean something to someone. This is not just... No, it is. I mean, I think that's one of the key features of all this is that you guys, Taco, and I'm saying this because you're here, I mean it. You all could take very simple songs and then put life into them to make things happen. And like I said, that imagery of the song would stick with you into the summer. I just don't think we have that today in today's music. I just don't. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but
I do agree with you because a lot of today's music is scientific, if anything else.
Yeah,
there are some outliers. But you'll find the same chords, the same, that 5-3-5 millennial whoop. These songs didn't have any of that garbage.
That's why I love that Taco is recording again, because he is from the school where those things mattered.
Yeah.
Feeling in a song, working on the
arrangement.
Well, I always try to paint pictures. And in every song I've ever written, it's like painting. And it was always very hard here, fighting against companies who would say, people don't listen to the words. They just listen to the music. And I say, no, that's not right. No. To me, as an artist, the lyrics are the most important thing. It's what moves me. It's what makes me sing. If the lyrics aren't right, forget the song, And it always has a message. And that I think is important, and you're so right, Tony. That so many songs now are just a hook line,
heartless, yeah. And that's another thing too, Taco. Again, I was a big fan of yours before I ever met you, because of the way you not only put the energy into the words, you do amazing videos. I think when you talk about pictures, you were one of the pioneers back in the days of. I loved MTV. And your video was on heavy rotation. I love that. And again, I think the art of actually creating the link between amazing energy in the lyrics and visualizing it. I don't think it seems to be a lost art at this point in time. So,
yeah, it's not wanted anymore.
That's too bad.
Like you used the word heartless, and
it is. I think it is heartless now.
Heartless is a good way to describe it.
And what I always like to do is have a very small team, and the smaller the team, the more you can really dig down and say, what do we want to get across? And small things like the humor in it, you know, and catching those moments.
Mm-hmm.
I like what a good director would do. You know, you can everything stands and falls with a good director who has an eye for all these little details.
Right. Yeah. Well, Taco, I really hope you and through your work with James, you guys can really bring some good attention to this, so people will, I think, maybe recognize the value of these things, which basically create emotional reactions. I think people are afraid to feel anymore, and you guys are, James, your book brings back the idea that it's great to feel, and Taco, you're working on trying to essentially bring back the lost art of actually being artistic in songs. It's like, I think it's more that you guys, kudos to you guys for trying to push this. So,
right, and none of that millennial whoop. That's a good.
None of that millennial whoop, yeah.
But you can find Taco's new stuff on his YouTube channel. By the way, it's easy to find. It was resurrected recently. We talked about that on the '80s show. But I'm glad to see you brought a lot of the new music, your live stuff in Japan, and the old music. You also did a cover of one of the great bands that I believe has one of my favorite hot summer jams, and it wasn't one of their biggest songs, but it was one of my favorites. That's Green Street Green by the New Vaudeville Band. Now, I love your cover of Winchester Cathedral, Taco, but Green Street Green is such a neat song by these guys. It still gets me singing to this day, and I blast it when I'm driving down the road, no matter what day it is, but beautiful for the summer. I sing really loud to it with a sunroof on. People look at me like I'm nuts, but I am nuts, so it doesn't matter.
But good.
That's right. Embrace it. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
But these guys were a great feel-good summer band, even though, and I believe we should bring back megaphone singing as well. That's what we need. More megaphone music.
I didn't know that was a segment of the rock and roll genre. I missed that.
Winchester Cathedral.
From what
I'm not sure if everybody would be wanting to listen to that.
The best was,
so if you can't play an instrument, you just sing through a megaphone. I got it. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
The best was they did the Coke commercials after that, and they were doing this. They did a whole version of Winchester Cathedral with Coke lyrics. Coke after Coke. A Coke after Coke, and it was just great stuff. And they're saying, I'm driving down the freeway, and all I'm thinking is she's out there drinking that nice big Coke. I don't remember the exact words, but just the way they were doing it. They were singing Coke lyrics to Winchester Cathedral. It's fantastic. You can find that I believe it's on the Greatest Hits album too.
Oh my god!
Well, that's some hot summer jams.
We'd like to buy you a Coke and keep you company. That's why we're here, Chris. Just saying.
That was a soft summer jam.
That was.
the new secret.
Actually was.
All right. We're talking about hot summer jams here. We do have a few more. We're going to be closing this out pretty soon, but I do want to add a few more. James, you did mention...
At this point, Chris, I'm going to jump out. Look, it was great meeting you all. I'll see you all soon. I got to go off to other things here locally. I live in a great little place called Edenton, North Carolina, so I got to go off and to a meeting. But Chris, thank you for including me in this great episode. Taco, great meeting you. James, great meeting you. Elizabeth, I'll see you all soon. And really, I'd like to do this again with you all if you have me back again. So it was a lot of fun.
And we will, Tony. And thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks.
And we have a few minutes left in the program. We'll close this out a little bit here. And James, we only glossed over the disco era. That's what I wanted to add before we closed out the show. The disco era included a lot of hot summer jams, a lot of great rock songs from the 70s. We're going to get to those in just a moment. But the disco era, while short-lived technically, produced a lot of great summer music.
Oh, it sure did. I mean, when you think about the number, it's incredible. And look, the whole concept of dancing and summer go hand in hand. Like, people love to be outside or just go out into the city at night on a hot summer night and go to a club or something. And hearing that music, it just made you feel, disco music to begin with made you feel so alive and so good about life. And whatever was troubling you, whatever problems you had, you were able to forget them when you listened to disco music and got into the rhythm and the upbeat messages. So they're perfect for summer. And literally there's thousands of disco songs that coincide with summer. I think of the one that I associated with them the most is, I would say, More by the Andrea True Connection, which came out in the summer of 1976. And so there was a big Sentinel celebration going on at the time. And she charted, she bolted up the charts, and the song was a top 5 hit in the US. You probably remember it. Bananarama later covered it. She was an ex-porn star.
Yes.
Not ex, actually. She was still doing them while singing. She
get more and more
pop star. So it's a great, her story alone is a fantastic story. She left us a couple of years ago, I'm sorry to say, but fascinating woman, fascinating song. And yeah, that's disco summer, definitely.
Didn't some Canadian band sample them?
Yes, Len.
Yes, Len, that's right.
Steal My Sunshine, yes. Which is also in the book, because they called it Steal My Sunshine, and I thought that's appropriate for summer. And they do have a slight portion of the rhythm of More in that. That's right.
That's right. They sampled More for the entire program.
Yeah, it's in a loop. Song. Yeah. Good memory.
But it was a big summer song at the time. And yes, rock also produced a lot of great summer songs. We talked about them, but a lot of times you just start out there, you blasted the classic rock songs, and you still do that these days. Open up the campfire, sing along to them. From Crosby, Stills, and Nash over to I know a lot of people sing Dylan. I'm not sure if I would consider him summer jams, but basically people like singing along to the stuff. And the fact is, I used to like old glam rock. Glam rock is also my summer jam. So I was always a big. I know he did a lot of bad things, but Gary Glitter was the man. When he sang.
Well, the bass player of the Gary Glitter band actually played. It was a close friend of mine, and he played on "Putting on the Ritz," the bass line.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah, cool. Put on the Ritz. That's
really
classic.
Cool.
Yeah.
Slade was another band.
Slade, Sweet.
Yep, Slade, Sweet. A lot of metal bands or hair bands of the '80s owe their careers to Slade and Gary Glitter, because a lot of them did covers of them or kind of were based off their acts. Susie Quattro was also great too, and you can pretty much open up your roof and blast some of her music real loud as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't forget the B-52s, Rock Lobster, best pool and beach song probably ever.
Oh yeah.
I would say another band that really got to me and gave me that tropical feeling for the summer is this one, Kid Creole and the Coconuts.
Yay!
Oh yeah.
I interviewed them for the book. I got some of the girls and August Darnell, and fascinating interview. If you want to pick up the book for just that interview, it's worth it. They gave me some wonderful behind the scenes information about what it was like back then doing those shows, especially for the Coconuts. They've had quite an experience, and it's really great reading. I recommend the book, if only for that interview. It's actually, there's several interviews by different members, so check that out. You'll enjoy it. Kid Creole, I'm a Wonderful Thing, Baby. God, the list of songs they did is endless and wonderful.
I'm happy to say,
I'm Not Your Daddy. That is the greatest one.
Endicott was great too. I like
Endicott.
Stool Pigeon.
Yes.
Yep. You can dance. What was it? Any I'm Not Your Daddy. We talked about that, but what was the other one I was thinking of? See, now I have to go remember things again. There's just so many great songs. Here's something though. I actually had, I believe, 5 members on my '80s show. Adriana's been on. Adriana Kagi, Yannick Svedberg, another Coconut for a while. We also had August himself has been on. Cody Mundi, who is specialized in absolutely fantastic dance music. If you ever get a chance, you need like 2 or 3 hours you need pretty much 8 or 9 hours for this. You're going to be very tired by dancing, but you do it. Listen to a bunch of jams from Cody Mundi, and Charlie Lagan was on, who played all the horns. And he has a music school he has a music school in Westchester County that's done very well over the years, and also offers scholarships to talent that can't necessarily afford it. And it's really, really a good thing. I had the privilege of going on a visit and see what they do over there.
Great.
Wonderful.
I am going to be closing out this one. We should do a sequel to this, or at least have you on again if you are up for this. So let's go Elizabeth, Taco, and James. Final notes, things we might have forgotten, or maybe your, let's say, next thoughts on Summer Jams.
Sister Golden Hair. I just thought of that one too. Love that song.
Me too.
Love that song.
America's a great band. I don't have golden hair.
Everything
anymore,
by America.
Well, you have golden hair, so that works.
Isn't that lovely?
You are sister. You are Sister Golden Hair. There we go. See, they wrote it about you.
That works.
The inspiration. Taco.
Summer Breeze.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful song.
That's where I melt away and get all wet in
and
the
cry
eyes.
a little.
It does move me a little bit, and I'm not easily moved. I was less easily moved. I was less easily moved when I was 200 pounds.
I quite fast, you know. Yeah,
James.
I'm going to say Hot Summer Jams by Taco because he's coming out with a remix of that song.
Whoa! All right, now that's great. When do we expect that coming out?
They're still working on it. It's in production, but that'll be coming out at the later part of the summer. And I'm sure that is just going to go straight to the top of the charts. So if you don't know about it now, you will know about it later.
You were holding out on us, Taco.
Yeah, you can look forward to it.
Well, we're going to have to do that a little bit more. Hot Summer Jams. And don't forget the book by James Arena, Hot Summer Jams, who is, again, thank you very much for being with us. I want to thank Tony Shaffer for being on with us. Once again, check out Hot Summer Jams. That's James Arena's, or one of James's many books. Check out Hot Summer Jams, the song on Taco's YouTube channel. You can check out all sorts of great stuff. We did play a video clip without sound of Heavy Metal, by the way, which I find a fantastic track.
That's from a movie, by the way.
Yeah, and those three robots. Those guys. I don't know. The inspiration must have been from Lost in Space, but I liked it.
Yeah.
My co-workers in our company, Aviator. We just put them in these suits and okay, just move.
Tight budget.
It was a very low budget production.
It's really a great song, though. And Elizabeth, again, thank you for coming on. The Hard Truth with Tony Shaffer. And Tony Shaffer, again, a big thank you to him. This was a lot of fun. Gentlemen, we're doing this again. We're maybe same subject or a different subject because maybe we're doing another sequel to James's Hot Summer Jams. How about cold winter jams? How about that?
I could try that. That's a good subject, too. Yeah, why not?
Or let's say mildly fantastic weather spring jams.
Yeah.
Well, with all the smoke here in New York, I think I ought to concentrate maybe on fire and destruction, something like that.
That could work for me. Maybe we got through those nuclear war songs. Maybe you can get a whole bookload, a book of those things, and that'll be a lot of fun.
Disaster songs, yes.
James, you can
natural disaster songs.
You can make natural disasters and man-made disasters look like
modern
fun.
depression song.
Yes, excellent.
Thank you all for being with us on the Outhouse Lounge. I'm Chris Cordani for my great guests, Elizabeth, Taco, James, and Tony. Enjoy yourself and relax.
Yay.
Happy summer.